All right, Nicole Martinell. Nicole is an educator, choreographer, and founder, artistic director of Deep Vision Dance Company based in Baltimore, Maryland. She has created over 25 choreographic works for traditional and non-traditional spaces. Choreographic honors include a Maryland's Baker Artist Award and selection for the annual Choreographer Showcase, the ACDA Galas, the Exchange Choreography Festival, the Intersections Festival, Echo Poetic, among others. Notable community projects include Learning Physics Through Movement, a K-12 arts integration program, and Akimbo Dance and Camp Movement Art Festival, a site-specific festival in Station North. Oh, wonderful. And the Station North Arts and Entertainment District. Her dance, science, and choreography research has been presented nationally and internationally and published in the Journal of Dance Education. She is the recipient of the 2020 MDEA Teaching Artist Dance Educator of the Year Award, and Maryland Dance Educators Association has curated today's session and chose her to present to us today. So thank you to our partners, MDEA. Martinell has a BS in kinesiology and dance minor from Penn State University and an MFA in dance from Texas Women's University. She's a certified movement analyst and an ATMTC certified teacher of the Alexander technique. Martinell has been on faculty, adjunct faculty at Towson University since 2008, where she teaches composition, modern technique, and dance science and somatics courses. She's also a mother of 3 little children. I present to you Nicole Martinell.
Thank you, everyone. I'm so happy to be here with you today. Today's session is looking at the mindful movement of the spine and how this mindfulness promotes spinal health. We'll be looking at acknowledging that we have spinal curves and that these curves move. And by acknowledging that we have curves and that our spine moves, we can invite a resilient posture, greater support, and greater ease and efficiency in action. So today I'll be just brushing the surface, providing some self-care tools, particularly looking at increasing our awareness, slowing down, inviting that moment of pause, and also engaging our thinking. Our thoughts have a profound effect on our movement and our efficiency. So let's first acknowledge that we have spinal curves. How does that sound? Yes? Thumbs up? I love audience interaction, even though we're muted. I miss being in the studio with people. Thank you. So we have curves. Thanks. At birth, we have primary curves. These are also known as our fetal curves. These curves, you can think of the child. Yes, and we can even be there for a moment. These are primary. Yes? And we still have remnants of that primary curve in our upper back and way down in our lower back. And I'll come back to that. And then as we start coming out of the womb, we have secondary curves. And our secondary curves, so we start coming out, looking up at the world. Yes, we start developing this secondary curve. And as we start coming to a seated position, sitting up, have that little bobblehead, we are developing our second part of our spine, the secondary curve down here. So we have primary and secondary curves. And these curves counterbalance each other and allow for, they allow for some resiliency in our action. So here's Freddie. I just named him the other day, but we can take a poll later if you want and give me some other names. So here, can we see him okay? Yes, looks like it. So we have, our curves are in an S shape. We have our primary curves, which is here in our upper back. Yes. And then here around our sacral region. So we can just touch that on ourselves here in our upper back and here around, it's called our sacrum, the base of the spine. And then we have our secondary curves that develop later, which is around our neck or cervical region. Yeah, go ahead and touch them. Excellent, everyone. And then in our lower back. So we have an S shape, and we all have it. We have varying degrees of this S shape, but we all have it. We can even include our head. So we got primary, secondary, primary, secondary, primary. Yes, touching on yourself, you have primary, we'll add our head, secondary, primary, kind of hard to touch, but we'll just pretend, yes, secondary, and down here, it's called our sacrum primary. Yes, so you have curves. They balance each other. These curves float around our center line of gravity. Yes, or some of us might have called this our plumb line, the central line. And so it floats around our ears, the central line, through parts of our neck, a little bit in front of our thoracic spine. So a little bit in front of this part. So we do allow that part of our back to be back. And then it floats through about the top and bottom of our lower back. So our spine floats around our center line of gravity. So thank you, Freddie, for that demo. Okay, yes. So we have curves. Number one. Number two, our spine, our curves are always moving to support our movement and our actions. So let's experience that. Come up to standing. It's okay if I can't see you because everyone's pretty small, but I hope you can see me. And if you feel safe, if you feel comfortable, I invite you to close your eyes. If closing your eyes feels a little bit scary, I understand. Please keep them open. So let's close our eyes and just notice. Notice our breath. Make sure your knees aren't locked. There's kind of a springiness in them. Notice how your body is just subtly moving, front, back, side, side. It may not even be visible, but there's all this subtle movement happening in your body so that you can be stable. Noticing your breath. Each inhale and exhale invites the body to move subtly more into primary or into secondary. Our spine moves with each breath. This dance, this small dance that you're doing, go ahead, you can open your eyes now. This is called a small dance. And we can even exaggerate that a little bit as you're just rocking forward and backwards. And just note how that spine is moving and responding. Nice. So we have spinal curves, and just our acknowledgement of those spinal curves has changed how we are in space. We are now thinking that we have a spine that moves and we allow it to move. Let's flip this, and I would like you to not move. I want you to hold everything as still as you possibly can. Keep the rib cage still. Keep that spine still as a rod. Okay, let's let that go. And what I noticed is your breath was being held. Yes, you felt like you weren't stable. You were going to fall over. It was kind of scary. Yeah. So we have to bring into our thinking that we can move. Let's keep going. Spine moves. We've got curves. And what's on top of our spine? Our head. Yes? Our head balances way up at the top of our spine, way up at the level of your ears.